Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome. um, I'm very glad you've all come to join us today. And my name is Isla, if you don't know me. I'm a student of Venerable Gyaltso Rinpoche, and I trained mainly here at Tashi Choling. I'm in Oregon, Tashi Choling Buddhist Center. And Gyaltso Rinpoche always asked that all of his students share what they know with each other. And so it's really in the spirit of that I'm leading this session today. And I particularly want to welcome any of you who might be from a different religious tradition or background or faith, or if you have no particular religious orientation. Everyone is welcome here. The point is really for us to get together and use our minds to generate compassion and to generate a lot of good energy that we offer to the world. And I also wanted to mention that in a few minutes when we begin our actual practice, we're going to have a prayer list. And so if you would like to submit names for the prayer list, you can do so in the chat window anytime between now and then when I read it. And there's it's not necessary to indicate whether the person is deceased or living. We're just going to read all of the names and they'll all be included in our prayers. And so now please take a moment to settle in while I say some prayers to our lineage teachers that we could share and learn the Dharma well. And so, the source of our tradition as Buddhists came from Buddha Shakyamuni, who's the statue right behind me. And he was a prince. He had a very privileged upbringing. But then at some point he snuck outside the palace and he saw the main kinds of sufferings of human beings, namely birth, sickness, aging, and death. And when he saw those, he realized that even he himself was not exempt from experiencing those sufferings, and there was really no way to protect himself or others from those sufferings. And so he went on a quest to find if there existed anywhere a state of true happiness, permanent happiness, happiness that does not rely on external circumstances. And he went on a great spiritual journey. He relied on all the great masters of the contemplative traditions of his time. He learned how to meditate. He practiced asceticism. And each time he completed a particular path or training, he was not satisfied. And he continued his search until finally he sat beneath the Bodhi tree and meditated and finally was able to reach the state of enlightenment or fully awakened Buddhahood, which is a state of permanent happiness. It's a state that completely goes beyond our ordinary mind, our ordinary emotions, all of our ordinary needs and wants. And it is defined as the union of compassion and wisdom. So when compassion is brought to its greatest, most vast point, it is the same as wisdom that is brought to its most profound point. Those two are like flip sides of the same coin. And so that is the state that he realized. It's a very profound state. It's not something that's easy to realize or easy to access, but it does in fact abide in the hearts of all beings. All beings have the Buddha nature. All beings have the potential to reach that state of permanent happiness, of perfect freedom and autonomy. But we're not there, right? Here we are in this ordinary world. where we are basically driven by our needs and wants. And we can see this if you just look at a little baby who is born. So it seems like they would be the most innocent or the most new, kind of fresh human being without any adjustments having been made. But a little baby, if you just leave it by itself, it will just starve and die. So even when we come out of the womb, immediately we need many, many things. We need food, we need clothing, we need protection, we need love. There are so many things that we need. And so you could say that our existence, the basic state that we are in this world, is a constant state of needing and wanting and lacking. The true thing that we're lacking is our Buddha nature. If we could just recognize and know our Buddha nature, then we wouldn't have any problems with anything else. But since we are separated from it, we're divorced from our Buddha nature, you could say, then we find ourselves lacking many, many, many things. And life is basically a struggle to get as much as we can to fulfill those needs and those wants. And when you look at happiness in this life, whatever we call happiness, it's usually just a temporary ceasing of these needs and wants. For example, if we have plenty of food, or if we have plenty of money, or if we have a family that loves us, for a while, we aren't experiencing that state of lack or that state of need. But all of our happiness is impermanent, and eventually we end up needing and wanting again. And so that's just the predicament of what's called samsara, this cycle of existence in which we find ourselves. That's what we are dealing with, our basic difficulty that we're dealing with. And all the other difficulties in the world, all the suffering that we see in the world, all the different kinds of problems can sort of be brought back to this basic difficulty that we are separated from our Buddha nature. And so that's just to give a little bit of context from the Buddhist perspective. Now, we Buddhists do believe in prayer, the power of making prayers, of making aspirations, making wishes. And we also really believe in the power of merit or virtuous action. And so what we're doing today when we recite these different prayers is we're making prayers and making wishes, and we're also reciting words that are incredibly powerful for good, for positive. These are words that arose out of wisdom minds of great beings, not words that arose out of ordinary minds of ordinary beings who have ordinary emotions. So we're reciting these words that are very blessed, that are very sacred, and that have the power to transcend our ordinary mind and to accumulate vast amounts of merit. They connect us to all the Buddhas, and they connect us to our own nature. And when we recite them over and over, we are invoking our own Buddha nature of wisdom and compassion. And the Buddha nature is not just something that Buddhists have, it's something that all beings have in all realms, all humans, all animals, and all the different beings there are. Every single one has the Buddha nature. So if you're not a Buddhist, it's fine, you can recite these prayers today, because the purpose of them is to invoke your wisdom and compassion. The purpose of them is not to convert you to Buddhism. We're not trying to make the whole world Buddhist. We're trying to make the whole world happy. And wisdom and compassion, this wisdom that we carry in our hearts, will manifest in the world in different ways, manifest to us as something external, trying to benefit us, trying to help us, trying to show us. It will manifest as great saints and as great masters. It will manifest as Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And of course, it could manifest as the other religious leaders of the world. Why not? How do we know that those paths are not correct? How do we know those paths do not lead us to wisdom? We don't. We can't tell. We don't know. And so it's important that we respect all of the different traditions and all of the different religions. And there's nothing wrong with all of us joining together in prayer and cultivating a compassionate mind and cultivating good energy and merit for the sake of the world. And so if you are of a different religious bent and you want to recite the prayers today, you're welcome to. You're also welcome to just sit and meditate or sit in a state of faith or compassion. You're also welcome to recite prayers quietly from your own tradition. whatever will contribute to the benefit and well-being of all beings. That's really what we're focusing on here today. And we are going to be focusing on two different Buddhas. The first is Guru Rinpoche, and I'll show a picture. This is Guru Rinpoche. He was considered to be a direct reincarnation of Shakyamuni Buddha, our founder. And so in our tradition, he's considered to be like the second Buddha. And he brought Buddhism to Tibet. And so I'm just going to read a really short excerpt from this book called White Lotus, which is a commentary on the 7-line prayer, which is the first prayer that we're going to be reciting today. And you might find this interesting. If you're a total beginner, this book might be a little too complex. But if you have already been studying Buddhism, this is a really wonderful book to read, especially if you find yourself reciting the 7-line prayer. So this is from the foreword. It says, "The origin of the Buddhist teachings in our world was the Buddha Shakyamuni, who in his unequaled compassion for beings and his wish to bring them all to perfect freedom is praised in the scriptures as a white lotus among the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate kalpa. Before he passed into Mahaparinirvana, the Buddha prophesied that his activities would be prolonged and his teachings propagated and protected by Padmasambhava, whom Tibetan Buddhists frequently refer to as Guru Rinpoche, the precious master." So Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava, that is the one we'll be praying to today. And he was invited by the Dharma king Trisung Detsen at the advice of the great abbot Shantarakshita. Guru Rinpoche went to Tibet and spread the teachings there on a vast scale. He made Tibet and the whole of the Himalayan region into a sacred land where the Buddha Dharma would prosper, even after it had long disappeared in India. Thanks to the power of Guru Rinpoche's blessings, not only the oral and treasure transmissions of the Nyingmapas, but also the teachings and practices of the other schools of Tibetan Buddhism have been able to flourish and have been preserved intact into our time. All of us who have an interest in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition should be keenly aware of the debt we owe to Guru Rinpoche. He is the perfect teacher, the guide for those who wish to progress on the path, and all prayers addressed to him are of immense value. Of these, the most important is surely the 7-line prayer. Not only is it the most powerful of invocations, but its every word is filled with deep meaning. Thanks to the marvelous wisdom and learning of Mipam Rinpoche, we have a commentary that lays before us all the different ways in which the 7-line prayer can be understood. It shows how this precious invocation contains the whole of the secret mantra in concentrated form. At whatever stage we are, beginners or otherwise, the 7-line prayer should be our constant companion. It is like a golden key to the treasure house of the teachings. Above all, to recite the 7-line prayer is the best way to invoke Guru Rinpoche so that we can rest in his presence, cultivate devotion toward him, and thus receive his blessings. The second Buddha that we're going to pray to today is Green Tara. So Tara is a female Buddha, and the female aspect is considered to be the wisdom aspect. The wisdom aspect of all the Buddhas, and also the source of all the Buddhas. All Buddhas appear out of a state of wisdom. And one time Gyaltsen Rinpoche saw a statue of Mother Mary, and he said, "Oh, that woman, very, very special one." And he said that she was an emanation of Tara. And so Tara is emanating into the world in many, many different forms constantly to benefit beings, and she's known for her swiftness in being able to answer beings when they pray to her if they're afraid or need help or need protection from natural disasters, from all kinds of calamities and difficulties. And so we'll be praying to her today. And so to begin our practice, first make sure that you feel comfortable in how you're sitting. The goal is always to sit in some kind of sort of upright and alert position, but also very comfortable and relaxed. So try to find that for yourself, whether it's in a chair or on the floor. And take a moment to just be honest with yourself about what's going on in your mind. So Buddhism is all about being honest with ourselves, not being in denial, but acknowledging what is going on with us in our minds, in our situation, in our life. You don't have to pretend to have faith. You don't have to pretend to understand something. You don't have to pretend to be some kind of practitioner. The best thing is being honest about wherever you happen to be at. And that's true for all of us who have been practicing for a long time, as well as those who are new. And also, you don't have to pretend to not have questions. It's always okay to have questions, no matter what level we are on as Buddhists. So take a moment to just acknowledge what's going on in your mind. If you're stressed out, if you're completely distracted, if you're kind of skeptical, if you're full of faith, if you're happy, comfortable, if you're tired, if you're full of anxiety, if you're worrying about something in the past or in the future, whatever it is, just take a moment to tune in and acknowledge what's happening in your mind. And now cultivate the thought and the wish to come from a grounded place. So feel the ground under your legs, under your body, and kind of ask yourself to inhabit your body as it is now, and that we can be grounded and more calm and present with this moment and this process. And now a common idea amongst many, many different traditions, such as martial arts and Qigong and Buddhism, is that we have a center of energy below the navel in our lower abdomen, like an orb of light. And that's where our energy generally lives. That's where it goes back to. And that energy is used to move our whole body. It's used to do recitations. It's used to do all of our activities, but it comes back to there. So sometimes our energy kind of rises up and gets stuck in our head or our neck. We have a stiff neck or we have a sense of tightness. So we're asking all that energy now to go back down to its home. And when it settles there, then we can be more grounded, we can be more calm, we can be less reactive. And so just take a few breaths, and as you inhale, think that your breath and your mind, noticing all these, whatever is tight in your head or upper body, think that your breath and your mind are just inviting and drawing that energy down to below your navel. So we'll just take a moment for that. And so especially if we're going to do a lot of recitations, it's important to always try to imagine our energy coming back down to that place. Another thing that really helps with recitations is don't think of it as yourself reciting and kind of putting your energy out there. Think about being surrounded by all beings, a great vast crowd of all beings, and we're all reciting together. So it's almost like you're listening to them recite, and then it's just kind of coming out of your mouth too. You're following along. So for me, if I think that way, it helps me be more relaxed and kind of push less, be more just sort of relax into that experience of reciting. And also, according to the Dharma, we should always think that all beings are, whatever virtuous things we're doing, that all beings are doing it with us and do it for them and on their behalf. So now I'll go ahead and read the prayer list. Did you have any? Okay, Pat Sitten. Lee Jean Kelly. Let's see here. My chats seem to be going back into April. Let's see here. April 1st. Okay, sorry. For today, Venerable Khenpo Tsewang Donggyal. So this is our prayer list. Please keep in mind and pray for these beings as we practice today. Venerable Khenpo Tsewang Donggyal Rinpoche, Tommy Newworth, the Beamonte family, Nathan Baggett and Mary Peterson, Chuck Harris and Jennifer Sticks, Michelle Ashton, Wolfgang Leora, Tara Leora, Salome Leora, all Dharma brothers and sisters, all beings in the lower realms, Kiki the cat, the Kennedy family, Mac Mann, Valentine Falcon, Christoph Corner and Juan Martin del Campo, all beings encountering war, famine, or suffering, all the animals who are experiencing violence or pain at the hands of humans, Ani Sultram, Devin Johnson, Matt Small, Carolyn Myers, and Caleb Forrester, all Dharma brothers and sisters, all the mice from 10 Orchard Terrace, Jeff Rennell, Donna Davis, Hunkar Dorje Rinpoche, Dottie Doucette, John Sanchez, Pat Sitten and family, Jay and family, and Rob Murphy and family. Oh, and Judy Cook, Sylvia Engel, Chris Abbey and family. All right. Now, it's always important before we do any virtuous activity to cultivate a mind of compassion and love for all beings. So please take a moment to cultivate compassion. And since we're doing prayers for the world, it's particularly relevant to think of all the world leaders and cultivate love and compassion for all of them, wishing them well, rejoicing in their positive activities, and wishing that their merit and their good activities and that their good attitude could increase. And if you perceive world leaders as being negative or harmful or causing a lot of problems and suffering in the world, instead of feeling anger for them, it's very important that we cultivate a mind of compassion, realizing that these powerful beings who have incredible merit to be where they are creating karma for the future. And so if they are mistreating or torturing or killing or stealing or causing a lot of suffering for those who are under their care, they are creating a terrible, terrible situation for themselves in future lives. They're not harming anyone more than they are harming their own selves. So please take a moment to cultivate a mind of compassion for all of them and wish that their minds would change and that they could make use of this situation where they have great merit to do something virtuous for the sake of the world and for the sake of themselves. May all beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. I rejoice in the happiness beings have already found. And may all beings become enlightened all together in one mandala with no one left out. And so now, there's no specific required visualization for this practice, but if you would like to visualize, then you can imagine either yourself as Guru Rinpoche or Guru Rinpoche right in front of you, vivid, vibrant, and lifelike, made of a body of light and compassion rather than a flesh and blood body. He has one face and two arms. He holds a Vajra in his right hand, which is a symbol of the indestructible nature of reality. And he holds a cup in his left hand full of nectar of the sublime spiritual attainment, sublime happiness that he can share with all beings. And he wears kingly robes and many different layers of robes and jewelry. And from in his heart, there's an orb of light, and from that orb of compassion and wisdom, then boundless light rays radiate and fill the whole world, touching the hearts of all beings, giving everyone a sense of ease, a sense of happiness. Anger and jealousy, pride, stinginess, all of those decrease, and everything virtuous begins to arise in beings' minds, and whatever physical suffering or sickness they have, that is washed away by Guru Rinpoche's light rays. Everyone takes a big sigh of relief, and happiness and virtue begins to dawn in the minds of all sentient beings at once. Everyone engages in positive actions, and everyone quickly achieves the state of perfect compassion and wisdom, the state of enlightenment. And from Guru Rinpoche's heart, also countless emanations of him manifest in all the realms as whatever beings might need or want, whatever they might be wishing for, and busily set about setting right all of the wrongs of the world until everything becomes a perfect, happy, beautiful, pure land. And so that's the visualization we can maintain throughout the practice if we wish. So we'll begin on page 1, reciting 3 times this mantra that will multiply the power of all of our other recitations. Om Sambhara Sambharam Bhimana Sara Mahadzambhava Humpet Soha. Om Sambhara Sambhara Bhimana Sara Mahadzambhava Humpet Soha. Om Sambhara Sambhara Bhimana Sara Mahadzambhava Humpet Soha. Next, we'll recite the 7-line prayer to Guru Rinpoche, once in English and 3 times in Tibetan, repeating. Hong, in the sacred land of Orgyen, in the northwest borderland, on a lotus with a pollen heart, blooming on its stem, wondrous and supreme is the attainment you achieved. You, known as the lotus-born, encircled by dakinis, we follow you, we practice. Please come forth to grant our blessings. Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yogin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompola Yatsen Choking Odrup Nyem Pema Jungne Shesu Drag Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Lapchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yogin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompola Yatsen Choking Odrup Nye Pema Jungne Shesu Drag Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Kegi Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Lapchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Hyugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompola Yatsen choking hodrum nyem pema jung ne shesu drag kordu kanjo mangpo kor keki jesu dag drupki chingi labchi sheksu sol guru pema siddhi hong hong in the sacred land of Oregon in the northwest borderland on a lotus with a pollen heart blooming on its stem. Wondrous and supreme is the attainment you achieved. You, known as the lotus born, encircled by dakinis. We follow you, we practice. Please come forth to grant your blessings. Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Hodrum Ne Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Korm Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chingi Lamchi Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Kesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Hodrum Ne Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Kor Kegi Jesu Dag Drupki Chingi Labchi Sheksu So Gurum Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Korm Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chingi Labchi Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong. In the sacred land of Oregon, in the northwest borderland, on a lotus with a pollen heart blooming on its stem, wondrous and supreme is the attainment you achieved. You, known as the lotus born, encircled by dakinis. We follow you, we practice. Please come forth to grant your blessings. Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nyem Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Da Drupki Chingi Labchi Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Korm Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chingi Labchi Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Hodrum Nyem Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chingi Labchi Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong. In the sacred land of Oregon, in the northwest borderland, on a lotus with a pollen heart blooming on its stem, wondrous and supreme is the attainment you achieved. You, known as the lotus born, encircled by dakinis. We follow you, we practice. Please come forth to grant your blessings. Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kordu Kanjo Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Drupki Chingi Labchi Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugin Upchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jung Ne Shesu Drag Kodu kanjo mangpo kor kiki jesu da druki chingi labchi sheksu so gurum pema siddhi hong hong orgin yugi nupchan sam pema gesar dompo la yatsen choki ngodrum ye pema jungne shesu drak Kodu kandro mangpo kor keki jesu dag druki chingi labchi sheksu so guru pema siddhi hong hong. In the sacred land of Oregon, in the northwest borderland, on a lotus with a pollen heart blooming on its stem, wondrous and supreme is the attainment you achieved. You, known as the lotus born, encircled by dakinis, we follow you, we practice. Please come forth to grant your blessings. Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yulki Nupchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nyem Pema Jungne Shesu Drag Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Kiki Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Labchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugi Nupchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jungne Shesu Drak Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Labchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugi Nupchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Hodrum Nyem Pema Jungne Shesu Drak Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Labchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong. In the sacred land of Oregon, in the northwest borderland, on a lotus with a pollen heart blooming on its stem, wondrous and supreme is the attainment you achieved. You, known as the lotus born, encircled by dakinis, we follow you, we practice. Please come forth to grant your blessings. Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugi Nupchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jungne Shesu Drak Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Labchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugi Nupchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jungne Shesu Drak Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Da Drupki Chingi Labchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong Hong Organ Yugi Nupchan Sam Pema Gesar Dompo La Yatsen Choking Odrum Nye Pema Jungne Shesu Drak Kordu Kandro Mangpo Kor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Chingi Labchir Sheksu So Guru Pema Siddhi Hong. Now we'll say the Vajra Guru mantra. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hong. 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 Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hong.
Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Now we'll recite the prayer to Guru Rinpoche to clear obstacles on the path. And so this is to remove any kind of negative hindrances, negative things that can happen to us externally, enemies, but also most particularly all the negativity we encounter in our own minds, such as anger, desire, hatred, stinginess, pride, jealousy, ignorance, and everything that comes from that. So again, with the same visualization. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, Buddha of all three times, great bliss, Lord of all spiritual accomplishments, demon tamer, wrathful power who dispels all hindrances, we pray to you, grant your blessings. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and bless us that all heartfelt wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche, Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat, Parche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsam, Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So, Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang, Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob, Oma Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kunda Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Oma Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Oma Ahung Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, Buddha of all three times, great bliss, Lord of all spiritual accomplishments, demon tamer, wrathful power who dispels all hindrances, we pray to you, grant your blessings. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and bless us that all heartfelt wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Oma Ahung Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lo Oma Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Oa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lo Oma Ahung Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, Buddha of all three times, great bliss, Lord of all spiritual accomplishments, demon tamer, wrathful power who dispels all hindrances, we pray to you, grant your blessings. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and bless us that all heartfelt wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lo Oma Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsam Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lo Oma Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chenpa Shat Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depso Chingi Labdu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Oma Ahung Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, Buddha of all three times, great bliss, Lord of all spiritual accomplishments, Demon tamer, wrathful power, who dispels all hindrances, we pray to you, grant your blessings. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and bless us that all heartfelt wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Godru Kundag Dewa Chimpa Jab Che Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Za So Chingi Lab Tu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Thungi Drupar Chingi Lob Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dursum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Godrup Kundak Dewa Chimpa Jab Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsam Sowa Debso Chingi Lab Tu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, Buddha of all three times, great bliss, Lord of all spiritual accomplishments, demon tamer, wrathful power who dispels all hindrances, we pray to you, grant your blessings. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and bless us that all heartfelt wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundag Dewa Chempa Shab Barche Kunsa Dudu Drapo Tsa Sowa Depsa Chingi Lab Tu So Chinam Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Pungi Drupar Chingi Lob Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chimpa Shab Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Debsa Chingi Lab Tu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Om Ahung Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kunda Dewa Chimpa Shab Barche Kunsa Dudu Drapo Tsa Sowa Debso Chingi Lab Tu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Guru Rinpoche, precious teacher, Buddha of all three times, great bliss, Lord of all spiritual accomplishments, demon tamer, wrathful power, who dispels all hindrances, we pray to you, grant your blessings. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles, and bless us that all heartfelt wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum Dusum Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kundak Dewa Chimpa Shab Barche Kunsa Dudu Drakpo Tsa Sowa Depsu Chingi Lab Tu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampa Lungi Drupar Chingi Lob Om Ahum Benzar Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. So now, if you're visualizing, then Guru Rinpoche can transform into Tara, or Guru Rinpoche himself can emanate countless Taras from his heart to fill the whole world. Tara, the loving, kind mother of all beings, cares for all beings, understands everybody and what they're going through, and is swiftly acting to protect everyone from suffering and fear, from sickness, from natural disasters, from harm from other beings, from difficult circumstances. Just millions of Taras in all different colors filling the whole world and benefiting all beings. So we'll say the 2-line supplication to Tara for a while, and then we'll say the mantra. Noble Lady Arya Tara, loving Mother, you who know, grant us your protection from all suffering and fear. Jetsun Padma Joma Keken no Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So Jetsun Padma Joma Keken no Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So Jetsun Padma Joma Keken no Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Noble Lady Aryatara, loving Mother, you who know, grant us your protection from all suffering and fear. Jetsun Pagma Droma Kekin Om Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Jetsun Pagma Droma Kekin Om Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Jetsun Pagma Droma Kekin no Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Noble Lady Aryatara, loving Mother, you who know, grant us your protection from all suffering and fear. Jetsun Pagma Droma Kekin no Jigdan Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Jetsun Pagma Droma Kekin no Jigdang Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Jetsun Pagma Droma Kekin no Jigdang Dugna Kunle Kaptu So. Om Dare Tu Dare Tu Re Soha 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 Om Dare Tu Dare Dare du dare dure soa. We'll read the next two prayers in English only as a dedication. So we should think that all of the merit and virtue we gathered and all the good energy we gathered by doing this practice is radiating outward and being dedicated to all beings. So this is an act of unselfishness, not keeping any for ourselves. We offer it to all beings. And when we do that, it naturally benefits ourselves as well. To you, our unfailing refuge, the three jewels and three roots, to Avalokiteshvara, our special protector in the land of snows and beyond, to Lady Tara and Guru Padmasambhava, we pray to you all. Through the connection of your heart commitment, hold us in your loving wisdom. With your blessings, may our every heartfelt aspiration be perfectly fulfilled. In these degenerate times, beings are disastrously backward in their thoughts and deeds. Combined with the disturbances of the outer and inner elements, the results of this negativity can be terrifying. Previously unheard of infectious diseases afflict both humans and livestock. All manner of negative forces spread misery and pain. These include harmful spirits known as Naga, Gyalpo, and Dun, and disruptive influences connected with the planets and the elements. Crop disease, early frost, and hail cause a shortage of food through poor harvests. Countries are torn with war and strife. Extreme weather strikes all regions of our world, and signs and portents seem menacing and unfavorable. We are threatened by enemies and by earthquakes, wildfires, and other disasters caused by the four elements. In addition, we particularly worry that hostile forces will harm the precious Dharma teachings. These and so many other fears afflict us. May all such harm and ill will, manifesting anywhere across the earth, be swiftly put to rest. May they be overcome entirely. May the mind streams of all beings who share our world, both human and non-human, be filled with the awakening mind, the supreme jewel. May this bodhicitta, arising of its own accord, free us forever from malice and cruelty, and all the harmful ways we relate to each other when under their influence. Regarding one another instead with loving kindness, may every country be rich with the splendor of joy and peace. May the Buddha's teachings spread, flourish, and long remain. May the force of the undeniable presence of the three roots and the victorious ones and their heirs, together with the power of all wellsprings of virtue throughout the world and enlightenment, join with the energy of our utterly pure, wholehearted altruism to accomplish these prayers and aspirations. At this very moment, for the people and nations of this earth, may not even the names of disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard, but rather may pure conduct, merit, wealth, and prosperity increase, and may supreme good fortune and well-being always arise. Go back to page 4. So we're going to go ahead and sing this prayer, and then at the end we'll rest in meditation for a few moments. Desam Sangye Guru Rinpoche Ngodrup Kuntak Dewa Chimpujan Barchet Kunsel Dedu Dragbo Sal Soa Debso Chingi Lab Tu So Chinang Sangwe Barche Jiwa Dang Sampalangi Drupa Chingi Ema Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. And together as a group, we were able to accumulate 840 of the 7-line prayer, 20,265 of the Vajra Guru mantra, 792 of the prayer to clear obstacles, 432 of the Tara prayer, and 7,992 of the Tara mantra. And we had a total participants of 36. And so thanks to all of you for joining. I always like to read the numbers because it reminds me that we can do so much as a group, so much more than if we just sat down ourselves and did our best to practice. So it's really special and precious, these chances that we get to join together. And that's really created by all of you who are joining with us. And I just wanted to remind everybody of a few upcoming events. If you're a Zoomer, then tomorrow through the Organ Dorje Den Zoom, there's Vajrasattva practice at 11. If you are here in the area, we are having ongoing satsa painting happening every day, so you're welcome to come out to Tashi Choling and help us paint and sticker the satsas. We've completed about 70,000, so if you want to come and do it, you better hurry up and get out here before the project is over, and then you'll be really sad. Because this is a chance to make satsas that are going into the 32-foot tall stupa we're building here on the land in honor of Venerable Gyatso Rinpoche. So this is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I think there's still a little satsa making going on down at Organ Dorje Den as well, if you're local to that area. And the next practice we're having here in the temple is Guru Rinpoche Day on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. So everyone is welcome to come to that as well. And we're going to end the way we normally do, which is I'm going to enable people to turn on their cameras and their sound if you want to come on, and particularly let us know where you're from. It's really nice to know where our prayers are reaching to today. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.